So Sweden's in NATO now. That's big news, obviously.
Huge shift, yeah.
But beyond the headlines, there's this really interesting challenge, isn't there? You've got Sweden with its own, super advanced military tech. The Gripen fighters, those A-26 submarines.
Top-tier stuff, domestically produced.
Exactly. And now they need to mesh all that with NATO standards, NATO procedures, fast, while also getting even better with their own gear.
It's a heck of a learning curve, like 2 massive learning curves at once.
Right. It's not just reading a new manual. It's about really getting proficient, deeply proficient, with complex kit inside this whole new, bigger framework.
And doing it quickly. The need for interoperability with NATO is immediate, but they can't sacrifice mastering their own platforms either. It's like learning to drive a Formula One car and navigating a super complex international highway system, you know?
Yeah, simultaneously. So the old ways of training, the traditional methods, maybe they're not quite up to snuff for this kind of speed and complexity.
Yeah. That's the question. Can traditional training deliver fast enough and at the scale needed? And that's why this EON Reality initiative, the AI Academy for Defense Swedish Integrated Defense Track, well, it really jumped out.
Could this be the key? Using things like spatial AI and XR.
That's what they're proposing. A way to bridge what they're calling the skills chasm, using immersive tech, AI learning, to speed up mastery of both the Swedish tech and the NATO way.
Okay, let's unpack that skills chasm a bit more. Sounds like more than just needing some new training courses.
Oh, it is. It's this dual challenge, fundamentally. On one hand, full integration into NATO. That means understanding everything, comms, protocols, joint ops, how allies work together.
The whole interoperability piece.
Precisely. And on the other hand, getting to peak proficiency with their own very advanced national systems, the Gripen EF, the A-26 subs, the CV-90 infantry fighting vehicles. Each one is a complex beast on its own.
And you think the standard military training approach, classrooms, simulators, maybe field exercises, why might that struggle here?
Well, time is a huge one. The urgency is real. NATO integration isn't something you can phase in slowly right now. Plus, the tech itself is just so sophisticated.
Right.
And think about safety and cost. Replicating high-risk scenarios for, say, an A-26 submarine or a Gripen, that's hard to do safely and affordably in the real world all the time.
Good point.
And maybe most importantly, traditional training wasn't necessarily built from the ground up with NATO interoperability and the AI era in mind. That focus might be missing.
Okay, so EON Reality steps in with their solution. What's the heart of it?
At its core, you've got the EON XR platform. Think of it as a secure, scalable foundation for building these really detailed 3D training simulations.
Okay.
But the really eye-opening part is what they call Spatial AI text-to-XR. Get this. You can take a dense Swedish technical manual, maybe for the Gripen, or even a first Varsmakten regulation, military rules.
Yep.
And the AI turns that text into a fully interactive XR training module in under 80 seconds.
Wait, text to interactive simulation in less than a minute and a half?
Yep.
In Swedish or English? That speed is, it's potentially transformative for creating training content. And it gives Sweden sovereign control over its materials.
Wow. So instead of weeks digesting a manual, personnel could be hands-on in a virtual environment almost instantly. That's serious agility.
Huge advantage. And they're using this to build these super realistic simulations, the Gripen cockpit, the A-26 control room, different CV-90 setups.
So you can practice without touching the real multi-million-dollar hardware.
Exactly. Risk-free, cost-effective, accessible training.
And this platform is the base for their AI Academy for Defense Swedish Integrated Defense Track. What's the Academy part?
Think of the Academy as the curriculum and structure built on that platform. It's designed to be a pipeline, churning out personnel skilled in both Swedish needs and NATO goals.
Okay, so it's the educational layer.
Right. It mixes those immersive XR simulations like practicing Gripen tactics or A-26 anti-submarine warfare drills with learning paths personalized by AI.
Personalized, meaning it adapts to the learner. Yeah, it tracks progress, identifies weak spots, and tailors the experience. Plus, there's potential for micro-credentials, specific skill badges that are recognized, maybe even across NATO eventually.
That makes sense. People learn differently.
Yeah.
And helping them navigate careers, is that part of it too?
It is. They have something called the EON Career Guide and Compass. It's an AI tool.
An AI career counselor.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It helps personnel see potential career paths within the armed forces or even in the defense industry like Saab or BAE Hägglunds. It can pinpoint skill gaps for a new role, especially ones related to NATO. and show how to fill them.
That's quite holistic, guiding development like that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned an AI-era Swedish military curriculum.
Yes, and this is key. It's not just EON. It's being developed with Swedish military experts and industry partners, Saab specifically mentioned.
So grounded in real-world needs.
Absolutely. It goes beyond just operating the hardware. It covers networked warfare, Swedish and NATO doctrine, human-machine teaming, like working with drones, interpreting complex sensor data, maybe from something like the Global Eye AOICS plane, understanding electronic warfare, anti-submarine warfare, and importantly, how to operate effectively in coalition settings.
So it's not just, how does this button work on the Gripen? It's, how does the Gripen pilot operate effectively with NATO allies in an AI-influenced battle space?
Precisely. And they can tailor the virtual scenarios to Sweden's specific environment. The Baltic Sea, the Arctic making the training hyper-relevant, their claim. Learning up to 4 times faster than traditional methods.
4 times faster. That's a bold claim. If true, that would drastically cut down the time needed for Sweden to get fully up to speed in NATO.
It's a significant number. And achieving it relies heavily on collaboration.
How so? Who needs to be involved?
Well, you need the Swedish government and military authorities, obviously. First Departementet, Försvarsmakten, FMV, ensuring it aligns with national strategy, security laws like Säkerhetsskyddslagen.
Security is paramount, yeah.
Then, crucial input from the Swedish defense industry. Saab, BAE Hägglunds. They hold the technical data needed to make truly accurate digital twins of the Gripen, A-26, CV-90, Global Eye. They know the skills required.
They built the things, after all.
Right. And then you have academic institutions, maybe the Swedish Defense University, FHS, KTH, Chalmers potentially acting as deployment hubs or contributing research and educational expertise.
So it's a real ecosystem approach. Government, military, industry, academia. And where does this training actually happen? On bases?
It seems like a mix. They talk about secure, national infrastructure, maybe even on-premises deployments for maximum data control.
Oh, okay.
Also, possibly dedicated AI academy centers near key bases, Limköping for air, Karlskrona for Navy, Boden for the Army, places like that.
Makes sense to put it where the people are.
Yeah, integrating into existing facilities like the Army Combat School, Markstridsskolan, and mobile XR units so you can take the training anywhere, even to joint exercises. Plus, importantly, train the trainer programs in Swedish to build self-sufficiency.
Okay, so the potential for faster learning and better NATO integration is clear. What other big benefits are they highlighting?
Well, beyond speed, there's enhanced readiness for those key Swedish platforms. They suggest maybe up to 60% reduction in training time needed for the Gripen A-26 CV-90.
60%. That's huge for operational availability.
It is. Then there's proficiency and safety. They're aiming for really high first-time pass rates, over 95%, because you can practice complex, dangerous tasks safely in VRXR. And better knowledge retention, too, maybe a 75% boost.
Learning by doing, even virtually, sticks better.
Seems so. It could also strengthen Nordic defense cooperation if they adopt similar platforms, and potentially optimize the defense budget, less wear and tear, less fuel, fewer physical resources needed for some training phases. Up to 65% cost savings is mentioned.
Wow, that's substantial.
Ultimately, the goal is an AI-ready, future-proof Swedish military. Better human-AI teaming, better sensor operation, contributing more effectively to Baltic security and their own defense within the NATO context.
Could you give us a couple of concrete examples? Like, what would a training session look like?
Sure. Imagine a Gripen EF pilot recruit. They're in a VR setup, a physical cockpit mock-up maybe. They're mastering the avionics, practicing weapon systems employment in scenarios the AI generates, perhaps using real Saab data to make it incredibly realistic.
Okay, I can picture that.
Or think about an A-26 submarine crew. They're in a simulated control room, working together on sonar tracking, practicing operating the unique AIP system, running through ASW tactics specifically for the Baltic or North Atlantic. The AI helps model those complex, unique systems accurately.
Training the whole team together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or CV-90 crews practicing networked operations, combined arms maneuvers with virtual tanks and infantry where the AI throws different tactical problems at them. And critically, practicing NATO standard operating procedures, comms, reporting, map symbols immersively, so it becomes second nature.
Makes sense. What about maintenance?
Yeah, they mention AR augmented reality guided maintenance. A technician wearing AR glasses could see digital overlays instructions right onto the real Gripen engine or A-26 hull they're working on. The AI could convert the maintenance manuals into those AR guides.
That sounds incredibly useful. You mentioned Dan Lajerskar, the chairman of EON Reality, had a quote.
Yes, he really emphasized this unique moment for Sweden. You have this highly advanced domestic tech meeting the strategic imperative of joining NATO. He positions EON's platform as providing that necessary speed, adaptability, and interoperability.
Accelerating readiness, embedding NATO standards.
Right. He mentioned that potential 4x acceleration on key platforms and fostering Nordic collaboration. His vision is clear. Help Sweden rapidly become a fully integrated, capable, AI-ready NATO ally.
So wrapping this up, the core idea is pretty clear. Use advanced spatial AI and XR to turbocharge how Swedish forces learn. Learn their own complex systems, learn the NATO way, and learn how to blend them together seamlessly.
Faster learning, safer training, better interoperability. That's the promise.
Equipping Sweden to be a really effective NATO member right from the get-go.
That seems to be the goal.
It really makes you think, though. If this kind of immersive, AI-driven approach can accelerate learning for something as complex as integrating a nation's military into NATO, what other fields, what other complex knowledge transfer challenges could be revolutionized by this kind of technology in the future?
That's a powerful question. The potential seems enormous.
Indeed. Well, if you, the listener, are curious about this intersection of AI, VR, and knowledge transfer, you can find out more about EON Reality and their work on their website. That's www.eonreality.com.